Welcome to Crafty Carol's Christmas Countdown Week 12. And I'm going to show you how to make a box to fit a gift. So here is a box, here is a gift. Beautiful box that fits the gift exactly. And I can just tuck the flap in like that. I've had this in and out a couple of times. So there is my, because I folded the corner up badly. There we go. So fit in the flap like that. So I want to show you how to measure to make a box for whatever gift you want to actually put in, to be honest. So, I don't want to show it because I'm not going to show you what it is because my friend might see it who's getting this. So the first thing you do is measure the box. And measuring the box, it's a square box, so I know it's square around the four sides, so they're all the same. 4 centimetres. So 4 centimetres on each of the sides. So I've measured that. Then I want to measure the length, which is 14.2. And I know that the bottom and top of the box are 4.4. So I have my measurements of the box. So how do I work out what size I need? Well, I know there's 4 sides at 4, so I need to add a couple of millimetres to make sure that the gift goes in easily. It's not jam-packed in. That would be silly because you can't get it out again. So I've added 2 millimetres either side, which makes it 4 centimetres plus 0.4, so it's 4.4 centimetres. So each of the sides is 4.4 centimetres. Then I've added a little bit on the end, because that adds up to 4 sides at 14.4 is 17.6. So I've rounded it up to make it 19. So I've got a flap that I can use to close the box. Then the length of it was 40.3, something like that, plus 4.4 each end, plus I need a little flap, so I've got a bit to tuck in. And that means that the depth of it is going to be 25 centimetres. So that is the size of the piece of paper I need. So this is my piece of paper, 25 by 19. So then I need to do my scoring. So I'm going to score the long side. Draw it out so you know what you're doing. So I'm scoring from the long side every 4.4 centimetres. So the first one, 4.4. So I'm using my trimmer because it's got the very exact measurements on the top, making sure my cutting blade is well out of the way, using my scoring blade there. So 4.4, 8.8, 13.2, and I can be so exact on this. And the final one is 17.6, which because of the legs of my camera stand, I'm just going to have to move over here to show. So that's 17.6. And then on the other side, this length side, so now I'm doing this side, so I need to score at 4.4, 18.8 and 22.8. So just do that. So again, we're going to start at 4.4, 18.8. Sorry, I have to have it slightly at an angle because otherwise I can't do this. 18.8, 22.8. Again, this is just by adding up all of the figures that I had, and that gives me a little bit. You can see this at the top, so I've got my little flap at the top. There's my score line, there's my flap. So I've got a bit to tuck in if I need. And there's 2 ways you can do the top. So then it's a matter of making the box. So this is the bottom of my box. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to chop off this tab. So this bit here, if I do all my folds, then you can probably see them better. So that's my little tab that I'm going to use to put the box together. Then we have the folds around. So we have one fold there to make the 4 sides of the box. Second fold. Got to decide which side I want, actually. I might have that bit as the outside, quite like that. Anyway, we'll see. I'll leave it as this for now. There. And then I'm going to fold the bit up at the bottom. That's my fold at the bottom to form the bottom tabs. And then my top, I've got my fold there for the top of the box. And then my little tab fold at the very top there. So you can see those are my folds that I need, so I can form my box. I've got a bit for the top, bit for the bottom. So at the bottom, all I'm going to do is cut off the tab because I don't need that at the bottom. So I cut that off, and I'm just going to mitre, cutting up the score line, just mitre the end of my tab a little bit. And then for the bottom bits here, oops, there. I'm just going to cut up each of the score lines. I'm going to keep this a square bottom, and I'll show you why I do. I don't mitre these, and I'll show you why in a minute. I'm just cutting up to that score line for each of these bottom bits. Okay, and then at the top, I just need one tab to fold in. So I can use this one. It's going to be at the back of the box because the seam, the closing seam is going to be here. So again, I'll cut off this little bit at the top. I don't need this bit. Don't need that bit at all. So cutting down to the second score line there. So that's my tab to form my box and close it like that. So I need one of these over. So I'm going to leave this back one, which means that I can then, I am going to just very, very slightly mitre that because it tucks in a lot better if you do very slightly mitre it. So I can cut there. That's going to be my tab that's going to fix the box, and the rest of these I can just cut off, cutting along the score line here. There we go. So that is how you left. Again, it depends on the size of box you're wrapping. So I've got my box wrapping around there. I've got my bits that'll fold in here, and I've got my tuck in bit. There's two ways I can do the top, which I'm going to show you in a bit. What I do need to do is cut down here so that I've got pieces. There we go. So there I have my top and my bottom and my box. So then it's a matter of just putting it together. And there's two ways you can do the top. So I'm going to show you both. So first thing is I need to form the box. Now the best way to do this, I'm going to use some tear and tape. So tear off a piece that's long enough for this. I'm going to put it right by the fold here because I want it to hold nice and securely. Tuck that end in, that's a bit too long. And I'm just going to put a little bit of Tombow down the other edge here because the tear and tape isn't quite wide enough for my tab, which is fine. Grab a pokey tool to take that off. Fold that spare bit over so it's not sticking out. There we go. So that's now glued, and the easy way to glue it and make sure it's straight is I just fold it over. So there I have my box. So then I'm going to do the bottom bit. Now I've got, so that's my bottom. So I've got my tab actually here, which is not actually, I'm just going to trim that because it's got a little bit sticking out. I obviously didn't measure quite as carefully on my measurements as I should have done. I'm going to cut off that bit that we don't need. There we go. So there's my box, and this is my seam at the back, which is now neat. So I really want this one, which this will be the front of the box, to be the final one folded over. So that means that I put glue on the other three tabs. So I'm going to start with the so-called back one. Doesn't matter, I just like it. I think it looks neater if I have the back one folded first, then I'll fold the side ones in, and finally this one on top. So I've glued three of them. They'll fold down, and then when I put the final one down, this is where I want to make sure it's nice and square. So again, glue on me. This is where I make sure all of those edges fold down nicely, and then I can always use the present itself actually to just push down in there to make sure that they're all going to sit nicely. So there is my box fixed together. So it's just the top we need to do. Now there are two ways to do the top. What I can do is I'm just going to trim these a little bit because I don't need these to be the full width. So I can just take a little bit off each of these. Now to make this one, what I did was I cut off the front flap so that I could just simply fold it in and tuck that bit into the front flap. Yeah, my fold over bit. Or what I can do is have those two like that and bring these together like that. So it's up to you how you want to finish the top of the box. I might leave this one like that because it's quite pretty. So again, we just want those folded over. You can leave them full or trim them a bit like I did. And then I can leave it like that and just either put some sort of temporary thing on that, like a little Velcro dot or something, or just a glue dot to hold it, or just simply use a clip. And that would hold it as well, which I should probably do on this particular box. So that is 2 ways to do the top of your box, either like that with a nice little clip, or like this and have it folded in. So up to you. I've got to decide now which of these ones I'm going to use for my actual gift, and then all I need to do is use one of my gift tags that I showed you how to make the other week. I'll make this one with a green, obviously a green base, so that it'll fit with this, and give it to the recipient, who I'm sure will be delighted with your homemade box. Bye for now.